So I've been following the OKC Thunder for a good couple years now, ever since the bubble. One, because I like Shai Alexander's game, and overall, a lot of their young players over the years has truly intrigued me with what they're able to do on both ends of the floor. And overall, everybody on this team being relatively pretty skilled and not really being a specialist is only in one area. But I wouldn't say them taking the league by storm is the correct phrase to use this year, because everybody expected them to take a leap. I think last year would have been a better term to use that. But right now, they've truly been the second best team in the Western Conference right now. At a 9-4 record, the OKC Thunder have a top 10 offense and defense in the NBA. And that's behind Shai Alexander still looking like, again, a top 10 player in the NBA for everybody that's been clamoring on why he didn't deserve that. And looking like an All-NBA first team performer again for all the people clamoring of why he didn't deserve that because OKC didn't make the playoffs. But put everything in perspective for this team. At 9-4 right now to begin the season, they are doing it behind some insane efficiency from Chet Holmgren, Cason Wallace, Luke Dort. It's definitely some things you need to keep your eye on, but I don't think a lot of those things are going to drop off to a crazy level that people consider. And to be honest, certain things should be able to hold up, especially as guys get healthy. So let's talk about why the OKC Thunder have gotten this good this season. So if you're new here and you don't know why OKC is good as they are, and you're wondering how is this young team just taking the league by storm when they didn't add anybody crazy in free agency, Chet Holmgren. It's absolutely been amazing what this young guy has been able to do in his rookie season, or I guess pseudo rookie season, but it is what it is. 17 points per game, 8 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 1 steal, 2.2 blocks on 55% shooting from the field, 44% from 3. And 90% from the free throw line on all relatively good volume and good efficiency. The kid has absolutely been amazing on the offensive end. And it's kind of crazy because normally when you add unicorns or guys that are really unconventional, they normally take time to adjust to a team. Look at the Spurs of Victor Wembanyama. They miss him a lot of times on pick and rolls. They don't really know what spots they need to hit him in. They're just doing a lot of things that are, I would say, experimental to see what's best for them. And you'd expect OKC to take that route with Chet Holmgren, but no, he's fit into this offense and this team so freaking well already. He's made things so much easier for everybody else. As of right now, Shai Alexander at the very moment is seeing a stark drop in his free throw attempts from 10 last year to 6 this year. And that's because the refs whistle is just getting tighter. And normally at the beginning of the year, every single time they talk about new rules, they try to enforce it in the first like 10, 15, 20 games and then never do it for the rest of the year. So I expect his free throw attempts to go back up, but he's still scoring 30 points per game because you have another useful scoring threat on the floor, a great pick and roll partner on the floor, and overall great deterrence. OKC is getting out in the fast break a lot more this year simply because Chet Holmgren is having some of the best deterrence in the NBA already as a rookie. 2.2 blocks per game, anchoring the #1 transition defense in the NBA. Chet Holmgren has absolutely been amazing on both ends. And flowing offensively, he provides a very good dump off options for guys when they get themselves in sticky situation, aka Josh Giddey on them freaking floaters. Great for Shai Alexander when he does get deep in the paint and defense is crashing on him. His presence on the floor has given up some of the shot attempts for Luke Dort, but it pushes efficiency to the absolute freaking moon. And then you look at guys like Cason Wallace that's come in, that's benefiting from the fact that they have such a scoring threat and scoring gravity of Chet Holmgren that he's shooting 60% and 50% from 3 in his first 15 games or 13 games in his career. He has been the absolute reason why a lot of these things are just flowing so well. And you didn't expect it from a guy that with his build and how they normally look when they do get in the league, but he has been the perfect piece for this team. Another person that's taking a disgustingly large leap that the NBA is just gonna have to sit with, knowing that OKC is gonna have 3 All-Stars for the next decade, is Jalen Williams. The kid has been absolutely amazing this year, averaging 17.5 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. Nearly a steal per game, but he's like top 10 deflection, so he's very disruptive on the defensive end. Don't just look at steal numbers, kids. Shooting 52% from the field and 37% from 3. He already had great finishing ability, great footwork around the rim, and his 3-point shot came along a lot last year. And this year, he's just putting everything together, plus getting to the mid-range, pull up a little bit more. And even at 6'6", I would even say 6'5", because he doesn't look crazy big. He's playing the power forward almost exclusively, and he's been playing it well because his wingspan is freaking huge. He's able to play a lot bigger than he's supposed to be. He was doing it really well, walling up bigs last year with that incredible wingspan, and this year he's doing it very well next playing to Chet Holmgren. Now OKC does have a bit of a rebounding problem. Kendrick Williams being back should help that a little bit, but they're giving up a lot of offensive rebounds. And that's also part because they do have a 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" guy playing the power forward spot. And Chet Holmgren already is not the biggest rebounder with his size, but I think you're gonna let one bad thing slide for the mountain of good that they're doing. And Jalen Williams has been absolutely amazing. The 3-point shot looks like it's here to stay at a pretty relatively league average to about elite level. The mid-range pull-up is coming along really, really well. The finishing ability was already there. The defensive ability was already there. Overall, he's just building off a terrific rookie campaign. He's almost the most clear developing all-star I've ever seen in my life. Do you know how many players have that sophomore slump? And I know he's playing off two great players, so it's not the craziest thing that he's having easier opportunities since he's playing with Shea and Chet. But still, do you know how many players have those sophomore slumps? He's coming in just showing that he's just good just because he's that good. He doesn't need time to adjust. Not to mention, picking up guys like Cason Wallace in the previous draft is just some of the most amazing drafting you could do. A backup guard that's that great defensively and has that much upside as a playmaker, and so far has come and shooting the lights out next to Isaiah Joe, whose whole thing is that he may be a little bit deficient on the defensive end, is the most perfect drafting you could have made for this team. But then you have guys on the bench that I think is worth developing in Ousmane Dieng, who I think Josh Giddey and Lou Dort, either one of them probably isn't going to be starting when this team is fully a contender, if they're not already that. I think one of those two is probably going to be the one to probably step out the lineup. And Ousmane Dieng brings the perfect mix of defensive versatility and scoring ability that can replace either one of those two. So either way, great things from this team. Also, Mark Daigneault is just gunning for Coach of the Year this year. Forwarding rebounding, because you don't have the personnel for it to become the best transition defense in the NBA. That also with some of the best defense in the half court in the NBA, leading to transition buckets and open 3-pointers for your entire team, making Shea the official point guard and making Josh Giddey the connector for the team really is all things that have made this team flow amazingly. And also shoring up the lineup and rotation so guys know who's playing night in and night out is the perfect thing to do for this roster. Everybody's been always saying that OKC needs to make a decision on the guys that they're going to go forward with versus the guys that they're going to, trade or move on from when they need to get that last all-star. And as of right now, they're doing exactly that. Guys like Pokusevski, Trey Mann, Aaron Wiggins are just not going to be part of this core. It is what it is. Certain guys have just come up to outplay them. And while it sucks, it is what it is. Those guys are just going to have to sit there and wait for OKC to decide whether they're going to move them for the next star or not. Now, that does sound a little bad, but it is what it is. It's the NBA, man. And those guys, you saw all the young talent on this roster. They needed to play their way into this rotation. The guys that are good enough to do it have done it already. And the guys that haven't yet are just going to either have to wait for their opportunity or just going to have to wait, hopefully get to a team that needs their talent when OKC decides that they want to completely just buy in on being a contender. So with that being said, let me know you guys think in the comments down below. What are the reasons why you think OKC is doing so great as they are? I personally have been expecting this since all of last year. I've been talking about OKC. I talked about them before the season started. Talked about Jalen Williams. Talked about Shea last year. I love this team. I've been a really big fan for the past couple years, and I'm happy to see them finally be able to show the entire NBA, actually getting the national broadcast games instead of just, being a young team that's developing over there with a 30-point score last year. Like, they barely had a national televised game and Shea was going freaking crazy. But with that being said, this is FLB. That's my time, and I'm out.